She has a story about someone in London who has given her some things to pass on to someone else that's meeting her here. She says they're not hers. That's pretty much what everyone says.
First time to Australia, recent ticket, recent visa, so pretty much last minute. Not travelling with anyone today. The baggage officer noticed that she's a bit nervous.
One of the 2 suitcases she is carrying is full of clothing and personal items for her to stay. But it's the second case that raises officers' suspicions. It only contains 2 brand new backpacks and an empty laptop bag. And the woman immediately claims the case is not hers.
She kept telling the baggage officer that the backpacks and the contents that's inside the suitcase doesn't belong to her. She's carrying it for a friend.
Carrying luggage for someone else is a red flag for officers, and the backpacks are taken to a secure examination room where a swab test will determine if any further investigation is required.
So the first backpack has cocaine reading.
It's a strong reading, and the second backpack will now be swab tested. While back at the bench, officers notice the passenger is looking increasingly nervous.
Are you sure you don't want a chair?
She felt like she wanted to faint, so the officer assisted her with bringing out a chair so she can sit down.
She is not behaving like a regular tourist, and as the second backpack is swab tested, officers strongly suspect that the passenger may be carrying narcotics.
Second reading of cocaine.
The backpacks will now be closely examined to check for any concealments as Supervising Officer Brett now joins the investigation.
We're going to put these backpacks through the X-ray because we're a bit concerned about the thickness and the weight of some of the padded panels.
And the X-ray immediately highlights an anomaly.
It looks pretty normal, but then you can see a darker shade, which is could be something concealed inside the lining. As you can see from this side image, it is darker.
There is a layer of unidentified organic matter in both bags.
So we've taken these 2 backpacks into the tool room to deconstruct it and see what we find in there.
In the examination room, one of the backpacks will be opened to try to locate the organic material seen on the X-ray. While the passenger has been read her rights and taken to a private interview room for questioning, where she insists the suitcase containing the bags is not hers.
She has a story about someone in London who has given her some things to pass on to someone else that's meeting her here. She says they're not hers. That's pretty much what everyone says.
In the examination room, Officer Tim begins to deconstruct one of the backpacks, and almost immediately he finds a white powder hidden in the foam layers.
It's your normal sort of foam that you get in the back of a backpack, but inside the foam there's a sheet of white powder they put across through there.
A sample of the white powder is collected for testing, while outside, the suitcase that contained the backpacks, along with the empty laptop bag, are X-rayed to see if they too have concealments.
The main suitcase is cleared by the X-ray images. I still have doubts with the laptop bag. There's the darker shade to it. When you feel it, it's still that softness inside it.
The laptop bag has identical shading to the 2 backpacks, and it is taken to the examination room, where a narcotics indicator kit will identify the white powder. A pink and blue liquid will confirm a positive result.
Pink on top, on the bottom, it's positive for coke.
The investigation is stepped up, and the young woman is informed that the Australian Federal Police are on their way.
We've told her what we have located, how we've located it and where it is. She is very panicked at the moment, wondering how much trouble she's in, how much trouble she's going to be in, and wondering where things are going to go for her from here.
A sample of the white powder concealed in one of the backpacks undergoes secondary testing, which confirms that it is an illegal substance.
Again, we've got another reading for cocaine hydrochloride.
The two backpacks, along with the laptop bag, will now be seized. And while the distressed passenger maintains that she was carrying it for a friend, officers have made another alarming discovery.
The suitcase that all these items have been placed in has itself been previously tampered with. There's indicators that it has either been used as a concealment for narcotics before or is intended to be used for one. There are some nuts and bolts that are holding it together that isn't in the manufacturer design. Telltale signs.
The suitcase is also seized as evidence and the young woman is taken into police custody. She will be charged with importing narcotics into Australia.
Australian Border Force officers at the Sydney International Mail Centre are examining parcels to prevent illicit items from being smuggled into the country.
Just take a look at this one coming up now, Josh.
Okay.
Looks interesting.
A large parcel from China, listed as containing marker pens, has attracted their attention.
You can see the pens, but they're quite dark in the middle.
Looks like an anomaly along here. It doesn't look consistent the way a marker pen would look. In a pen, it should be consistent because it's just filled with ink, right? But you can see that it's a bit cracked there. So it's like it's got something else in there that's sort of shifted while the parcel's been moved around.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't have that line.
You can see it's in a few of them as well.
Officers will now have the box opened by Australia Post so they can check if anything illegal is hidden inside the pens.
Yeah, that's highly suspicious. Definitely looks like a concealment.
Australian Border Force officers are concerned that this box sent from China might contain something illegal.
Okay, there's definitely pens there. They look commercially packed and sealed from the outside. No glue present. They look normal. I think maybe we should take a couple of these out and x-ray them on the small x-ray.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd maybe take one of each colour.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Officers now x-ray the selected pens for a detailed look at their contents.
See what it shows when we x-ray them individually.
It could be ink, but I think the cracking here suggests that it's probably not, and also the inconsistencies with the fills.
You can also see a green tinge through it, and although ink may have a green tinge when it's commercially done, definitely that's the indications of a chemical substance.
I'd suggest that whatever's in this one is also in this one and this one.
Yeah.
It appears to be a sophisticated concealment, so the markers will now be deconstructed to reveal what is hidden inside.
I think perhaps I might be able to screw off the top.
Yeah, okay.
That could be perhaps how they do it. Yep, there you go, it's screwing off. I've just got some tools to try and pop the top off of it. There we go, pops off, and inside, there we go. Yeah, we can see a white substance.
If the nick test is positive for an illicit substance, then it will change colour.
And we should see a really nice blue colour come up at the end of this. It'll be indicative of methamphetamine. And there we go, straight away, really dark blue. So that's a really good indicator.
Yeah, it looks like methamphetamine to me.
Yep.
The marker pens are weighed to confirm how much of the deadly methamphetamine ice has been intercepted.
So it looks like 10 to 15 grams per marker.
Looks like quite a sizable concealment.
The parcel will now be handed over to the Australian Federal Police.